don't know my name yet. But by the time you looked away.
This first look is just a slight variation of the normal pull-through braid, so start by separating a top section of your hair into a half-up ponytail, and you're going to just secure this with a clear elastic, and then split the ponytail in half, and you're going to wrap a second elastic about an inch down on this top ponytail. Then you're going to create a hole between the two elastics on the top ponytail, just using your fingers, and then begin pulling the bottom ponytail through, and this creates a pull-through braid. Once that's pulled through, you're just going to attach another elastic about an inch down, just like we did before, and then you're going to create a little hole with your fingers and then pull the bottom ponytail through. This gets a lot easier the more practice you have, so just keep working at it. And the nice thing about this is if you mess up, it's not a big deal. You can go back and fix it. So just play around with it until you figure it out. But anyway, as you can see, we're just repeating this all the way down the hair. And then I like to leave a little bit at the end so that you have a nice tail. Once you've secured your braid, go ahead and loosen it up. I do this just by pulling on each side of the braid, and you just really have to pull because it's a little bit tight with the elastic, but this creates a lot more volume as well as hides those elastics and really gives it that cool look. So once you're finished with that, take a piece of hair from underneath the ponytail and wrap it around the base to hide the elastic, and you're finished. I like to secure mine with a bobby pin, but you can use a little clip or anything that you like, just make sure it stays in place. And voila, your finished look. Doing a French pull-through braid really isn't that much harder. The only real difference is you'll incorporate hair along the way. So start by sectioning off a top section and then tying this off with an elastic just like we did before. Then you're going to create a ponytail underneath and secure this with an elastic as well. And once you've done that, you're going to go back to that top ponytail and add another elastic about an inch down, then create a hole using your fingers and pull the bottom ponytail through. And this is just going to create a first braid which looks just like the braid we did on the half up, half down from before. But then we're actually going to flip that top ponytail over to the top of our head, and we're going to begin gathering some of the hair that's out of the ponytails and incorporating that into the bottom ponytail. And so once you've gathered that hair and combined it, just secure it with another elastic. So then flip that top ponytail down, and like we did before, add an elastic about an inch down, create a hole, and pull the bottom ponytail through. And it's that simple, so you're just going to repeat these steps all the way down, adding new hair to the bottom ponytail until you reach the nape of your neck and you've run out of hair. And then at that point, we can just switch over to a regular pull-through braid, which is super simple, and I just do this most of the way down the hair and then leave a little tail at the end. And then I like to pull some pieces out around my face, as well as loosen up the top and sides of my hair to add a little bit more volume around the crown. And then I begin pulling apart the braid, and this is what makes it look really fun and big and makes it really pop off your head. So you can loosen yours as much or as little as you like, but then it's really just about playing around with your hair until you like the way that it looks. And I really like mine to be messy, so I pull out a lot of hair, but like I said, just figure out what you like and then you have a finished look. Side note, I feel like this may be how Elsa did her hair in Frozen, and I'm totally okay with that. This final look is probably my favorite because I've never been good at doing fancy updos, and I finally found a technique to achieve that perfect messy low bun. So for this braid, instead of starting at the top of our head, we're actually going to be starting at the side and French braiding across the back of our head to create the base of the bun. So section off a ponytail on one side of your hair and fasten this, of course, with a clear elastic. What else? And then you're going to be creating a ponytail right next to it. And as you're doing this, make sure you're guiding the hair from the front of your face back in an elegant way, so it's not just the back of your hair that looks good. And then you're going to add an elastic about an inch down on the ponytail closest to your ear, create a hole in the middle, and pull the ponytail next to it through, just like we did in all of our braids. Now, like the French braid we just did, we're going to incorporate some hair into the bottom ponytail, although in this case, it's actually the ponytail furthest from the ear, and then we're going to tie that off with an elastic. Then we're going to return to the top ponytail, or the ponytail closest to our ear, and add an elastic about an inch down, create a hole, pull the ponytail through, etc. Basically just do this all the way across the back of your hair until you get to a place where you don't have any more hair to combine, and then just start doing a normal pull-through braid. Super, super simple. After I've tied off the bottom of the braid, I'm going to begin loosening up the braid, and you want to make this as big as possible in the back so that it really pops out and creates that fun kind of texture that we get from the pull-through braid. And then of course do this all the way down, loosening up the bottom of the hair as well. And then I'm just looping the braid back and positioning it above the braid that we created so that it looks like a kind of fancy coiled updo. And then I'm just securing the whole thing with a bunch of bobby pins, making sure to hide the tail of the braid as well as to tuck in any offensive flyaways so it looks all pretty. And then I'm just pulling out some pieces of hair to frame my face, as well as loosening up the top and sides of my hair so it doesn't look quite so pulled back and polished. And that's it. I'm just playing around with the back of the braid to make sure it's nice and big and all the elastics are hidden and bobby pins are perfectly tucked. And that's it. It's super easy and it looks like you spent a bunch of time doing this super cool fancy updo. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments below which was your favorite look, and make sure that if you have any requests or if you try out any of the looks that you send me a picture on my Twitter. So follow me on all my social media. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!